Hello my friends and welcome to this video which is talking about the latest game that I played recently, Marvel Avengers. And this comes from Esquire.com, and of course this was submitted for my perusal by Ryu. And since I've been on this kick of playing Marvel Avengers, well, I might as well read this article. And of course, I will share my thoughts about it. Marvel's Avengers is a blast. The gaming world needs to get over itself. For years, it needed to get over itself. All the whiny internet rage masks what this game really is. A flashy multiplayer looter led by Kamala Khan. That's a whole lot of fun. For those who don't know who Kamala Khan is, she is the latest Miss Marvel. Or as the game would call her, or in the comic world, and in the comic world I should say, the magnificent Miss Marvel. The day is finally upon us. The Avengers have been let loose. It took months of internet uproar to get here. Like all things Marvel and Avengers, and really all things video games, the arguing was relentless over everything having to do with this video game. There were complaints about the artistic direction, exhausting anger directed at the microtransactions, and most disappointingly, nerd rage over Kamala Khan's lead role, which is kind of sexist, racist bullshit, which is the kind of sexist, racist bullshit we've seen taking a disgusting hold on gaming. No one was happy, especially after the lackluster headlines about the beta. We don't like the art style. The art style is fine, but the combat sucks. The combat is fine, but why is the matchmaking slow? Shut up, all of you. I played Marvel's Avengers a lot. Same here. And I'm here to say it's a flashy, heroic blast that brings the Avengers universe into the gaming realm seamlessly and faithfully. I'm sure I'll get a lot of hate mail for being positive about the game, and then I'll be deemed idiotic for failing to see its flaws. But listen, I'm just trying to have a nice time. Marvel's Avengers is a good thing for 20XX. One of the only good things. It is a perfectly fun game. Just accept it. Go get upset about politics or a crumbling society instead. So while it may pain you, here's a warm and fuzzy review of a game I happen to love. Avengers has two main modes: the campaign and the Avengers Initiative. The campaign is not quite as lengthy as Ghost of Tsushima, Spider-Man, The Last of Us, or one of the many other great narrative-based titles of late. Mostly due to the additional story given to you in the initiative. And Avengers Initiative is really where this game comes alive. It lets you and 3 of your friends, or random players, or computer, if you prefer, take on missions in coordinated strikes. You'll have a lot more fun in multiplayer if you're communicating with your regular Gamer Zone teammates, simply because of how much you need to work together and back each other up. Initiative does not allow for duplicates of characters, and thank God for that, otherwise we see Iron Man, Captain America everywhere. The combat isn't Dark Souls deep, but allows for plenty of dodging and parrying action. Oh yeah. The thing that makes Avengers truly special is the versatility in each hero's combat style. Iron Man plays drastically different than the Hulk, and while there may be loose similarities, if you skinned all of the characters, you could still tell exactly who you were playing based on the feel. Many other complaints about Avengers stemmed from the fact that it's not like Insomniac's Spider-Man. It just isn't, and it never was going to be. From the beginning, Avengers was marketed as a class-based looter. While you take that genre into account, Borderlands. That's all you gotta say. Borderlands. It's a damn good title. I may be biased because I don't mind grinding through levels to get what I need, but for me, Avengers accomplishes that come back for more and one more round pull you look for from looters, while adding combats that's flashier and more interactive than top-down dungeon crawlers or looters like Diablo or Marvel's Ultimate Alliance. Oh god, that was a nightmare. As for the art style, the human facial features aren't the best we've seen this generation, but the flashy costume, shiny textures, and glow action are exactly right, especially considering you won't spend much time looking at faces save for in the campaign cutscenes. Naturally, people were also pissed to learn about the microtransactions in Marvel Avengers, but what the hell else is new? They're just kind of stuck in gaming now. It may be true that every hero has a purchasable battle pass for $10 a piece, but the marketplace and in-game currency are only used for cosmetics, and if you're going to have microtransactions, that is the way to go about it. Plus, after purchasing one battle pass, you'll have earned enough credits to let me read that again. Plus, after purchasing one battle pass, you'll have earned enough credits back to buy the next one. I'm sorry, I was reading a script and it took a lot of muscle memory to keep myself in character to do it. So, apologies if I sound like I'm tripping over words, but that's what happened earlier. Work, you know. Considering that we're getting a metric shit ton of new characters and free content following this game's launch, paid cosmetics are hardly a cardinal sin that warrants dropping a few bucks to put Hulk in a funny hat. The upcoming content makes the future of Avengers seem especially bright. Hawkeye, Kate Bishop, and the PlayStation exclusive Spider-Man, sorry everyone else, along with new online quests and costumes. Plus, leaks are circulating that a much longer list will include the likes of Black Panther and Doctor Strange. If Crystal Dynamics and Square Enix take as much time with the next batch of heroes as they did with the original 6, then this game will be unbelievable by its first year anniversary. While every AAA blockbuster game goes through some sort of online troll rampage, this was a particularly perfect storm. A video game about the Avengers with a woman of color taking the lead, Kamala Khan. Well, she's a massive Avengers fan, just like you all say you are. And following her story 7 years after her comic debut, seeing how much she obviously loves these heroes is powerful stuff. Endearing too. Those unwilling to explore this game because it doesn't feature another Captain America or Iron Man plot leave a bad taste behind. What this review comes down to is Avengers is more than worth picking up as long as you're aware that it is a great game and that's not Insomniac Spider-Man. It is Marvel's much needed breakthrough into the AAA blockbuster game category. One of the few categories DC had the edge until now. This could be the start of a new dynasty for Marvel. Now that that's said, I have a few words about this. What they didn't tell you, and what you've seen for yourself on my channel, is that when it first came out, one moment, apologies. Let me start over from that point. What they never told you, I mean, you're hearing from somebody who says they played this game and whatnot, and they're cheering it and jeering it and everything. What they didn't tell you was behind the scenes, and you've seen so on my channel, is that before, it was a mess. That is the one thing that this reviewer did not tell you, but what you've seen on my channel is something totally different. Allow me to explain. Few weeks back, when I was playing Avengers, sometime back with my girlfriend, We ran into glitches. We ran into some strange and funky ass glitches, and even on my time playing it on my own off camera and everything, I ran into some strange glitches. For instance, there were reports of costumes disappearing. And on top of that, certain costumes cause the character to bug out in weird ways. Like, say, for instance, Captain America's World War II costume. It basically did the following to Cap's face. His eyes were bugging out. His jaw was like sliced around, and he almost sounded like, "Hey, Adrian." Even though, he had the voice actor. The voice actor did a phenomenal job. The voice cast, period, did a phenomenal job. But the entire time, graphic wise, it was weird because they were doing this the entire time. It's like, the fuck am I looking at? So it took 2 patches to fix this game. One to fix the costumes because of that weird glitch that the costumes kept disappearing even after you've unlocked them. And then the second one, which happened quite recently, it was a 1.3 patch that came out over this past weekend. And what it did was it basically fixed all the little bugs that was happening in the game. Like, say, Iron Man and Thor bugging out when they were flying. Because they did bug out when they were flying. Miss Marvel's arms being as stupidly long as they shouldn't be. Even a stranger glitch in which my girlfriend told me when we were having our session playing the game that she saw my character, because I was playing as Captain America. She saw nothing but a shield running around. That's all. She saw on her end of the game that I was running around with a shield, and I was throwing a gamma, and I was throwing my shield around, and it was gamma powered, so it's like, just like that. During my time after I played the Avengers last night, the flow was so much better because I was doing, basically the harm room, which is training. So it's like this. All my characters, or all the characters I worked as, I can basically use takedowns more frequently than normal attacks. Because I use range attacks more than I use melee. Because that's how I work. It's like I play enough FPS games to know, okay, I keep everyone at bay by shooting them. If they come in close, I shank them or punch them the fuck out. Whichever works. Whatever I have for close range, that's what I use. If I have something long range, I use that more. If I need to do crowd control, that's what I have my L1 and R1 triggers for. If I need to use something for a pinch, both triggers are needed. So, on that front, as I said before, this game is worth getting. Now, it's also on Steam, and it's also on PS4. And, it's on PS4 and it's on Steam, as far as I know. I don't know if there are any other releases, but those are the only 2 I'm aware of. Now, for the other aspect of this video. First off, for those who don't know the story, the core is talking about a fight between the Inhumans and AIM, and the Avengers is basically the spearhead of this campaign. What happened was, at one event, Kamala Khan was one of the winners of a fan fiction contest. She faced difficulties because she's a fan. She's a fan of the Avengers. She has her own favorite characters she likes, and yet she met each and every one of the Avengers individually. When this big event happened, she got affected. Fast forward a couple years, mind you, she's 7. When it first started, she was 7. Fast forward a couple more years, 14. Then the whole story goes from there. It's up to her to basically help get the Avengers together and save the world. That's all it was about. Now, I'm just going to say this. Fuck color. Because it's not about color. The game is not about color. It's about basically bringing hope back to the world. And believe me, that's what I saw in the storyline. She was bringing back hope to a group of heroes that has always brought hope to the world. Even without their leader. Their leader was MIA the entire time. And they basically have been kicking themselves in the ass. Basically, through her actions, she brought them out of their funk and basically got them back together again. So, short term, she brought the band back together again. So the thing about this is, it doesn't take color to do that. Because first off, I don't fucking care about color. The way I saw it was, she fought adversity. Not diversity. She fought adversity because she truly was not a fan, but she supported the group in question. She basically took that extra mile to basically say, look guys, the world needs heroes. And you're the only batch of heroes the world can depend on. So let's get our shit together and let's go save the world. That's all it was about. Because really, I know what it is, but, really, if you take the race part out of it and you just saw it for what it is, picture this. You're part of something bigger. That's what it really means. You're part of something bigger, even though you feel like you're not. And that's the thing. That's the whole theme of the Avengers, being something bigger. And even at the end of the campaign, good is not what you are, it's what you do. Or I might have it wrong. I think it's good is not what you are, but it's what you do. And that's from the game. It it basically overwrites the old saying we've heard in many times a Spider-Man comic book. Every time Peter has that line. With great power comes great responsibility. It all mirrors that coming from Uncle Ben. How I see it is just that. Basically, you're a hero. No matter what, you're always going to be faced with adversity. And the power to act speaks louder than words. If you look at the Avengers, that's what it's about. If you look at the story core, that's what it's really about. One person basically doing something about this whole situation. Even now, from the standpoint that where we live in, it is about that time that we stepped up and did something for our communities, for the people, for our people. That means our families, our friends. Because as I said before, fuck race. It's not about that. And I'm sorry to say, but this is the only time I'm going to mention this because I don't really promote it very often. But guys, go vote. And I mean it like this. Don't do it because, you're doing it for... No. You're not doing it for a side. You're doing it to fix the country. To help get this country out of this mess that's in. And to basically quote from an older game, America still needs your help. That's what it all comes down to. And that's what I think about the Avengers. Because I was raised up on reading about superheroes. I believe that, there were only two sides. There was good and there's evil. Right and wrong. Light and dark. There was no gray side. There was just basically two sides. I mean, sure, that gray side existed, but as far as where it stood, that gray side could either make a person good or make a person evil, and it's all defined on their actions. From the game standpoint, I'll say this. It is quite better than Final Fantasy XIV. From the multiplayer standpoint, because it's just pure action all the way through. Plus, you're not limited to, say, wait for people to join the lobby. You're really not limited to that. Because, see, the one thing I could say that 14 had, but the one thing that they should have done was this: don't wait until you get to Shadowbringers. Yeah, don't wait until you get to Shadowbringers just to say, oh, hey, you can play this dungeon all by yourself. No, you should have been playing the dungeon all by yourself. If you couldn't find anybody, have an AI option to basically run through the dungeon with the Scions. Wherever they were based on your level, that's what skills they had based around your level. I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it in various RPGs, in which basically that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to have a party that was really based around your level. Like if you were level 5, they'd be around that range between level 5, level 6, or at least 2 levels higher than you, or at least at least 1 or 2 levels higher than you. Because that's how most RPGs operate. You know, everybody starts at level 1 or everybody starts at level 5, and not everybody levels the same way. They level differently. Some might level faster than you, some might level slower than you. But it's okay because you work together as a party. Avengers has this thing that works very well. You can play whoever you want. That's right, whoever you want. I can say this, I have 2 characters I really play with in certain missions. I play as Captain America and Thor. I tried playing with Iron Man, but the thing with him is that the fact that he operates by sheer weaponry. Thing is, I'm not used to his flying style. Because the thing is, his flying style was a little too wacky for me. It's a little too aerodynamically sound for me. You know, it's like too powerful for me. Even in the campaign, I can say this. The campaign was really a test of everything you knew about any other game. Like there was stealth involved, or you basically had to do a wall run on certain parts of the stage. And I'll admit, even doing something like a double jump with certain characters was, in a sense, challenging because you would have to sprint and you would have to make that tip. You would have to jump off at the tip and make sure you jumped as far as you could, and you made the double and make that double jump right at the height of, say, the jump you made. And there were times that basically I couldn't do that properly. It's like with Captain America. He can wall run. But the thing is, it was so tricky because, I had to do this. The thing about the Avengers is, the campaign is a challenge within itself. No matter what level of difficulty it was on, it did really just tested your ass. So really, to be fair, I will say this as, for those who actually like the Avengers, I would say try it. Find your character, embrace your powers, that sort of thing. Right after you, and it's like this: you have to play through the campaign first. Then after that, you've unlocked the AI, the Avengers Initiative. If you play before then, it'd be called spoilers. So you didn't play it would tell you, oh hey, you didn't play the story. Go play the story first before you jump into this. And it's smart because you really want to be high level because you really, really want to get into the story. Like I say, in a nutshell, as far as the story goes, the leveling is kind of because for the most part, you'll be with Kamala. For the most part, you will be playing as her. Other times, you'll be playing as the other Avengers. You won't be getting proper leveling up until you get to, say, Avengers Initiative. And what I would suggest for those who are new to it, go to the hard room first. Do all the missions to every character. That way, you pretty much would have a smell test on who your main would be. Because that way, you know who you're going to play as mainly. And then if you got a second, go for that second. If you got a third, go for that one, whatever. But for everything else, as far as the transaction concerned, it is what it is. That's really what it comes down to. You want more costumes? Yeah, you gotta pay for them. I mean, that's not new. That's like saying, oh hey, it's DLC. And all you would have to do is buy like some credits. All you do, it's like the accelerator in WWE. Basically, that's all it is. You're paying extra money to accelerate everything on your challenge card, just so you can have extras for say you want to upgrade your equipment or get like different costumes or whatever, or even get takedowns. Because yeah, you get takedowns. Takedowns are basically throws. So if you want to know what that is, that's what it is. Now, like I said, as far as the game was concerned, I like it. I wasn't thinking about what this dude was saying. Oh, well, I was like, well, she's a woman of color. So bloody fucking what? You also forget she's a teenager. She did some shit. She did some wild shit, but she did it for the sake of saving the world. And in the end, she went back home. It's not much of a spoiler, but in the end, the only thing she wanted to do was go back home. After all this mess was over and done with, that's it. I mean, it's the same for anybody. If it was me and I was just basically, I was doing all this work, like say what I'm doing voice acting, and I was doing all this work for say 8 hours straight. The one thing I would want to do is go back home. Give me a few days off. Recover my juices and everything. Go back into the office and work. There you go. Because that's all it really comes down to. So, that said, I'm just going to say this. As far as it being something that rivals Borderlands per se, because that's all you're really doing it for. Games like Borderlands or Overwatch, or even top-down RPG looters like Diablo, Torchlight, and of course Ultimate Alliance. basically all I'm doing on the game now is just basically getting really all I'm getting is legendary equipment. That's all I'm really doing on there. And then if the legendary equipment is good, I keep it and want to power it up until I find something better. Better legendary equipment, yeah, you can do that. Because there's there's uncommon, epic, and legendary. At least the good ones you want to get are basically green's uncommon, blue, purple, and gold. You really want to get the gold. So you know how to play a looter. Many of you know how to play a looter. And that's how it plays like. It plays like a looter. So it just plays, just like I said, it plays something like Borderlands or Overwatch or something like that. You get good gear. You get better gear. You go from meh to, oh, this is nice. That's all it really is. But aside from that, I'd say even after the patch, it's pretty good. But before the patch, it was terrible. But at least, with the patch all settled in, the game runs a whole lot smoother than it did prior to. So with that, all I can say is, if you like what you see, and you like what you've heard about this game, go pick it up for yourself. For you PS4 users and Steam lovers out there. Don't go by what they say about, it's about this, all that usual shit about, about race and color and all that shit. I mean, it's one of those, it's basically a game that just brings us back to what we should be doing with video games. We should be enjoying them. We shouldn't be throwing out the world's problems on a video game. No, let's just sit back, get together, play, shoot the shit, and just, unwind and enjoy the rest of our evening. So I hope that's what you will be doing at the very end of this video. So until next time, I have been your friendly neighborhood Tenkaichi. And I'll see you next time. Possibly with an updated version of the Avengers. Right after the patch, the 1.3 patch. So until then, I'll see you next time. And always remember, Avengers, assemble!